Swamiji, I'd like to ask you to begin by talking about why we need a moral compass in education. And as you can see, they've just stepped out for a bit. I think they'll be back soon.
Education should make us live life to our full potential.
Yeah.
First point. Second point, education should make us live life well and more happily. The education what we grew up with, from kindergarten to graduation, didn't even teach us how to handle anger.
How to handle?
Anger.
Of course.
And anger is something which we get upset every day.
Absolutely.
Which is something happening almost most of the time. But we were not taught how to deal with something like anger. Now, the education is incomplete. It is this moral, spiritual values which will guide you how to deal with this. So whether it is anger, whether it is guilt, or whether it is failure, the education did not guide us how to do it, how to learn. We learned how to deal with it outside the schools, but not in the school curriculum. So moral compass is mandatory when it comes to education. Another most important thing for education is the education should help the individual to find one's own swadharma, one's own inner calling. I'll tell you a small anecdote. A person who is artistic by nature joined army. Mismatch.
Absolutely.
And he was in the army, and one day they were to move from one place to another. So this man joined the army, and the battalion was to move from one place to another. So the regular engineers, civil engineers were not there, so they want someone to do things quickly. So this guy, the chief comes and says, "Is there anyone who can draw? We want a bridge." So this guy gets up saying, I'll draw. And he goes there and he draws a bridge. A nice small wooden bridge. And two children sitting on it with a fishing rod. Butterflies flying all over the place. And a distant rainbow. Very romantic.
How beautiful.
And he gave this to his chief. He looked. Do you think the chief was asking for that bridge? He said he was taking his army, the troops. So he said, remove all this. So next time he went and he said, take the children off the bridge and show me the bridge. So he made the bridge again, keeping children below the bridge. Everything was the same and the children were below the bridge. The man was more furious. He said, I do not want any children, butterfly, nothing. Just a plain bridge to tell my troops how to cross.
Right.
So he makes a bridge, plain bridge there. Nothing. No butterflies, no rainbows, nothing. It's just a plain bridge. But below the bridge, in one corner, he put a tomb, two tombs. So the guy looked at the whole thing and he said, what is the tomb? He said, those two children you killed. The two kids which I drew, you killed, they are there in the tomb. That which you are born with, if that doesn't find an expression in your living, then education has failed. So in education, what we really need is swadharma. We should teach our children to identify their inner calling. That should be an opportunity should be created to find that. If that comes, then children grow. They grow up living more happily, living life with their full potential, and more those who have found their swadharma, they live from happiness. Others live for happiness. So education should help you to do this.
But of course, it's easier said than done, isn't it? Because the entire society is sort of engineered in a way that success and material success is paramount currently.
Yeah.
And that is confused with happiness.
Huh. So what happens here is we are not guiding. See, when you find your Swadharma,
Yeah.
you can be materially brilliant.
Yeah, there's no reason why you can't.
Like, if I have to give you an example, Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
He found his creativity. Creativity was in him. And, I mean, Swadharma is not opposing material prosperity. Swadharma probably can help you. And even if you have material prosperity or you don't have material prosperity, like Subramanya Bharati,
Right.
you would still be happy. That should be provided. It's not against.
Perhaps I phrased my question inaccurately. What I meant to say is that what re-engineering in society do you need so that children can find that Swadharma? Because as you said, you don't necessarily find it in schools.
Perfect. The kindergarten teachers.
Yeah.
Is school teachers here? Kindergarten? Anybody? Kindergarten teachers should be paid the highest.
Yes.
They should be paid the highest. And you should select people of that kind who has that ability to observe child and start noting it down. The primary school teachers should be the next required people. They should observe so that when the child leaves or when the child comes to 8th standard, the report should be like, in 2nd standard, I found this talent in this child.
Right.
This interest in this child. And I could see that in the pre-KG too. And now it is there even in 6th. There is a continuity. Now that is a field. You should plan your career in that kind. So these teachers have to be good observers, notice and do it. Schools are doing this today. Many schools are doing it and they're forming. What is the child's interest at different stages? This is one change, if we can bring in, it'll happen. Because this is moral. You're making a person live well. See, today, unfortunately, moral science, when you say, people think moral science is like, do good, be good.
Yeah.
Moral science is reclaim your divine. You're born divine, you're divine. You have forgotten, reclaim it. The education should be able to take us there.
Right.
So, Swadharma has to be compulsorily brought into the education system. I think what I have seen with the new education policy, NEP, because we run schools, I've been checking, that caters to this more or less in helping the child find one's own calling. Yeah.
But as you said, you need the right teachers at all levels, not just kindergarten.
Yeah.
So is it very important that your guru has to be, your GPS has to be a guru? Or can your GPS be inside you and you can read enough and find your Swadharma?
There are so many people who found truth on their own.
Yeah.
Like Ramana Maharshi of Tamil Nadu, he didn't have any guru. He found for himself. Like and there are people, my guru is guru. Swami Chinmayananda's guru, Tapan Maharaj, he found the truth by himself. They were not guided. So there are people who are self-taught. That is called Swabodh, self-taught. And there are some who needs guidance. So these two types of people will be there. Those who need guidance will seek guidance. Those who have that quest born with it, they'll find it by themselves.
I want to take you back to your youth. When you talked about anger, I was reading about your life, and as an 18 or 19-year-old, apparently you were full of anger and rage as well, until your sister apparently took you to your guru, and that changed your life. Is that so?
No. I have not conquered anger even now fully.
No?
Okay, because when you have to work in the world with people, anger is a thing.
Given.
But the only difference is I keep the anger issue-based.
Okay.
I don't take it personally.
Right.
If it's issue-based, the next moment I meet that person, I don't carry that forward.
Right.
If it is personal-based, then every time you see that person, you'll get angry.
Right.
So anger should be handled as issue-based. And when you are transacting in the world, Not all of us in Vedant parlance, it is called gunas. Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna. Not all of us are in the same guna. Our combinations are different.
Right.
Some gunas, anger is the best way to communicate.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
They won't understand otherwise. So then the anger plays a role.
Right.
And I love what my guru taught me about this, Swami Chinmaya. He said, keep anger in your pocket.
Okay.
When you want, demonstrate and put it back.
Right.
You don't get angry.
Right. Just use
So,
it.
use it.
Sparingly.
So when it is required to, you're dealing with that kind of a guna. See, adult, child and parent conversations we have. When a child, like you, somebody approaches you, you take a parent stand.
Yeah.
Same way, if a particular kind of a guna comes and they can understand only the language of anger, then you use the tone.
Right.
You use the word. But actually you're not angry. You flashed it out,
Right.
but you're not angry. So anger, if at all we get angry, it should be issue-based and we should not take it to person.
You've talked about the 3 books that all of us must read, the Gita, the Puranas, and the
Upanishads and the Brahma Sutra.
You've said that those are a must. For any young person, why do you say that they would be a must?
See, if a person is seeking the divine, who's on a quest, there are sources for the information. So these 3 books in our culture are called Prasthanatraya. Important books. One is Gita, the Upanishads, and the Brahma Sutra. Gita helps you to live well here. Arjuna was confused, he didn't have confidence, and Krishna taught him, and Arjuna, confusion gone, he regained his confidence. So Gita is a beautiful book, a manual to live here in this world. Upanishad is for the higher. The Upanishad doesn't teach you about living here. Upanishad talks about how you withdraw and you seek the higher. And Brahma Sutras are the final books, the highest books which one reads, to get more clarity in recognizing you are divine, in understanding Tattvamasi, that thou art, or Aham Brahmasmi. These are beautiful sutras. Sutra means aphorism.
Right.
One word, Mahavakyas. Explanation of that is the Brahma Sutras. So in aphorisms, in one-liners, this is being taught. So these 3 books are the primary books for a seeker who wants to find divinity.
Right.
And Gita is more practical because it talks to the people how to live here.
Right. You know, society has changed, families have changed, their needs have changed. You come across so many people. What are the prime concerns people seem to have now, and how do you address them?
People are loaded with too much information continuously. The attention span has gone. You can't hold anybody's attention beyond 2-3 minutes today. Even when we talk to children, if you're telling a story, they listen to you. The moment story ends and you want to say what is the idea behind the story, they'll turn all over. So, and for anybody, to sit and listen to somebody is also difficult because you keep checking your phone. So every now and then there is too much distractions, too much information. As a result, people are too occupied. The occupation in the head is too much now for what it was earlier. Before stepping in, we were discussing with Ananta Nageswaran and a few others. The word school is a Latin word. Escole. It means leisure. The root is leisure. Is there leisure in schools today?
There's not even a free period.
So you understand.
Yeah.
So this loading is too much. That has to slow down. So when people are loaded so much, they're confused. Over information. And if that part of it can be done, and if people realize that I don't have to carry this phone 24/7 or anything which distracts. There is specific time I can use it. If that kind of a self-discipline people do, then probably you'll enjoy a sunrise. You'll see a bird flying and you'll say, oh, that's lovely. Today, people are occupied. You're not able to see celebrate what life has provided.
Right.
In Tamil, you have this poet, Bharadiyar.
Right.
He says, Ethanai kodi inbam vaitai iraiva. What a beautiful line.
What does it mean?
Ethanai
Sorry.
kodi inbam vaitai iraiva. How many crores of happiness you have manifested?
Right.
Are we seeing it? The waves in the ocean, or the bird, or even a caterpillar moving. There are many ways to celebrate
Appreciate
life.
Yeah.
All those are joys.
Right.
He says, how many crores you have kept, but we don't have.
Right.
We are so occupied with something that anything happening in front of us, we miss.
Yeah.
So we have lost the art of celebrating life with
And-
small things.
And celebrating the now.
That's it. You know, it's occupied. When you're occupied,
Right.
you're either with the future or with the past.
Right.
You're hardly there. So we need to tell people, chill, breathe, celebrate what is in front of you. And there are enough things to celebrate.
But do you see that happening? Do people listen?
Some people do, because they are, I mean, that way I have found in the youth a lot of hope. At least with the people with whom I've been working with.
Yeah.
There are quite a people saying, I need a break, I need to take time off. Where do you go? They're looking at either the mountains
Okay.
or by the riverside.
Right.
So that I have seen, that I want to go and spend some time in a retreat, things like that. So that is a very good sign. What they do with it, they will slowly figure out. But
Right.
that break they need is important. You need to step back.
Right.
Because otherwise it's a mad rush which is
Right.
going on.
But that celebrating slowness, leisure, these are all wonderful things. But then people start looking at your bank statement, then their EMIs to pay, their households to run. How do you tell a householder, take a break?
No.
Breathe.
A householder has to understand my priority, my living has to be happy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a householder to be happy. So the person need to realize I need to be happy.
Right.
So what are the ways by which I can be happy? Money is one of the many. So if I'm happy by 9 methods and money is just one more, then I'm okay with it. If I think money is the only way, bank balance is the only way to be happy, then I'm lost.
Right.
So basically, it's like we started this conversation with the education didn't even teach us how to handle anger.
Exactly.
The education never taught us how to live. Where is the knowledge how to live? In the past,
Right.
we had an education which is called Paravidya and Aparavidya. These are the two terms. Paravidya, Vidya knowledge. Paravidya, supreme knowledge about the absolute. Aparavidya, that which is not absolute. Finite, infinite. Matter, spirit. Education should have a combination of these two. Then we are prepared for life.
Just the absolute last question, because I have
No.
my friend telling me to wrap up. Love. The absence or the underplaying and the lack of importance we are placing on love and compassion in modern life.
Very few people love. In today's world, when you see, very, very few people love. To love, you have to be selfless.
Yeah. Nobody wants to sacrifice.
You have to be selfless.
Yeah.
Love would naturally mean, to give your best to the beloved.
Yeah.
That's how love.
And your beloved, it doesn't necessarily have to be a beloved. It can be your family or
No,
your...
anything.
Anything,
to
yeah.
that which you love.
Yeah.
If you love, you will not compromise.
Right.
You will give your best.
Yeah.
So, but most people actually don't love. They seek different things and mistake sometimes that to be love. So, where selfish interest is there, love cannot find its place. But if you want harmonious living, in any relationship, you need to bring these two facts, love and respect.
Right.
These two are important. If you want to save a relationship, if you want to cherish a relationship, if you want to, in engaging, you want to be happy, in that case, you need love and respect in that relationship. Only love, the relationship will still survive. Only respect, it can still manage. But it will not be that charming. But if these two are taken away,
There's nothing.
that will be a hell.
Yeah.
So we need to guide children.
Wonderful.
Love and
Thank you
respect.
so much. I wish we had more time with you, but I think whatever little time we've had has been most enlightening. Thank you so much for coming,
Most
and thank
welcome.
you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.